Okay, we're going to go ahead and go step by step to reduce this radical. It says the square root of 96. So the first thing I'm going to do is go over to Desmos. Okay, you have to open a Desmos calculator. So pause here if you need to open a Desmos calculator. Okay, so we're going to type in y equals x squared. I want my list of perfect squares. So now I'm going to click this edit list, the settings button, convert to table, and I'm going to click inside the 2. This is my last x value, and I'm going to hit enter. Make the list continue on. I like to go up to 100 just for the first time. Okay, so once I have my list, I'm looking at 96. So what's the first perfect square I can divide 96 by? So it needs to be smaller than 96. So I'm going to click in this next box so I can do some math. 96 divided by 81 would be the first one. 81 doesn't work because I get a decimal. So I move up the list. The next number is 64. Still a decimal, that doesn't work. You're going to keep going up the list. 49 doesn't work. Okay, keep going up my list. The next one should be 36. Nope. 25. Nope. 16. There it is. 16 and 6. Okay, so those are my two numbers that I'm going to come over here and put underneath the radical. So here I'm going to put 16 here and 6 here. Okay, I took this right from delta math. So this is how it will look when you do your delta math practice. So now I need to simplify the square root of 16. That's my perfect square. The square root of 16, if I come here, here's my 16, the square root is 4. So that's why I'm going to change this square root of 14 into a regular 4, and your 6 just comes down with it. Okay. My next one here, 112. Get rid of this, and I'm going to do the same thing with 112. Divided by, I'm going to start with 100. Nope. 81. 64. 49. 36. 5. 16 works for that one too. 16 and 7. 16 and 7. Square root of 16, we already found that out. That is 4. And this time the square root of 7 comes here. That's how we simplify. Let's go to slide 2 here. Now this doesn't give us our two radicals, so you can put them. Okay, square root of 63 divided by, I don't want to try 64 because that's bigger than 63. It's definitely not going to work. 49, 36, 5, 16, 9. Okay, 9, I get 7. And I know I'm doing this kind of quickly. I do have them memorized. It's all of these numbers right here on the right. I'm just going up the list. I got to 9 and 7. So I'm going to put 9 here and 7 here. And these are being multiplied by each other. You can put at times in between there. The one that gets simplified is the one that's the perfect square. 9 is a perfect square. The square root of 9 is 3. I'm going to put 3 square root of 7. 54 will be the same thing. Divided by 49 will be my first one. 36. Nope. 9. Nope. 18. Nope. 9. There we go. I get 9 and 6. So I'm going to put here the square root of 9 times the square root of 6. And we just found out the square root of 9 is 3, and I bring down the square root of 6. Okay. All right, let's shift gears a little bit to the discriminant. What is the discriminant of the quadratic equation? 8x squared minus 3x plus 7 equals 0. The discriminant is this formula down here, b squared minus 4ac. This is a quadratic equation because it's equal to 0. If it's not equal to 0, you'd have to do some rearranging first. But since it's equal to 0, I can label A, B, and C. So what I'm going to do here is follow this pattern, b squared minus 4ac. You do not have to memorize this formula. So b squared, my b is negative 3. Square that, minus 4. Your a is 8. And my c is 7. All right, you do not have to do that in your head. You come over to your calculator, and we can get rid of this one. I would keep this throughout your quiz, so that way it's just, you don't have to keep typing it in. So my b squared, negative 3 squared, minus 4. My a was 8, and my c was 7. Okay, I get negative 215. All right, and you can see multiple choice. That one's right here. Okay, so if we were to continue, this one has 2 non-real solutions. You have to stop here. You're going to stop. You cannot continue. If you get a negative discriminant, you cannot continue with the quadratic formula. It's impossible. All right, let's look at another example. Same thing, finding the discriminant, A, B, and C. So my B here, when there's nothing there, remember there's a 1 there. B squared minus 4. My A is 5. And my C is a negative 7. Be careful with that. There's a minus there. That it needs to be included. So I'm going to change this. 1 squared minus the 4 always stays there. My A was 5. And this one became a negative 7. So you get 141. Okay. All right, and there's my answer right here. So this one, because it's positive, it's going to have 2 real solutions. All right, so that's finding the discriminant. You just follow this formula, label A, B, and C, and follow the formula. All right, number 5, slide 5. Now it says solve the equation for all real solutions. Now you have to use the whole formula, but we're going to look at this part first. We're going to do that part first. But let's look at this. We notice here that it's not equal to 0, so I'm going to add 5m squared to both sides. 4m squared plus 5m squared is 9m squared. Notice I added it to the m squared because they were like terms. Minus 21m plus 10 equals 0. So now when I label A, B, and C, okay, I have to label A, B, and C once it's equal to 0. So here my B is negative 21 squared minus 4. My A is 9, and my C is 10. Here I have negative 21. My A is 9. My C is 10. Okay, so I get 81. Okay, so now I have to continue with the whole formula. This says x equals negative b. So do negative, my b is negative 21. So I have to put parentheses, negative 21, plus or minus the square root of. This is where the 81 goes. You already found that part. All over 2 times my a term, which is 9. Negative negative 21 is a positive 21, plus or minus the square root of 81. Remember, I kept my list here. Square root of 81 is 9. All over 2 times 9 is 18. So now, because we could simplify this square root, we get to keep going. So I got to do 21 plus 9 over 18 and 21 minus 9 over 18. That's my plus or minus. I have to do both of those. So over here, I'm going to do 21 plus 9 all divided by 18. And if I get a decimal, I do like the fraction better. So 5/3 is the plus, and 21 minus 9. So I can just change this plus, minus, and I get 2/3. These are your solutions. Remember, if we get a positive discriminant, we have two solutions. Those are our two solutions. All right, let's take a look at one more example. This one's already equal to 0, so I can just do A, B, and C. So I'm going to do this part, b squared, so I have negative 5 squared, 4 times 4 times negative 4. Whew, lots of 4s there. All right, let's see what I get. Plug it in for this one. Negative 5 squared, I had a 4, and a negative 4. So I get 89. Okay. So now I'm going to follow my formula. My b is negative 5 plus or minus square root of 89. Remember that goes there. All over 2 times my a, which is 4. Negative 5 is 5 plus or minus. Let's see if I can simplify 89. That. Get rid of that now too. So 89, I would start with 81. All right, let's see. 64. Nope. 49. 6. 5. 15. 9. 4. 1 is going to be the only one that works, so we cannot simplify it. So we're going to leave it as the square root of 89. All over 2 times 4 is 8. So because we can't simplify this, this is our answer. You are done right there. Okay, now you're ready for your quiz. If you have any questions, let me know.